Ladies and gentlemen, the management of this theater invites you to a new dimension in horror, an experience so horrifying it can only be compared to spending a night in the grave. Due to the highly macabre nature of this blood-curdling program, the producers insist that every person in attendance sign a certificate of assurance before being issued a ticket to this theater, certifying each patron of sound mind and body, and that in the event of a coronary insanity or death suffered during or from the program, this theater and or the producers cannot be held liable in any way. Special certificates will be handed out for your signing prior to ticket purchase at the box office by special uniformed attendants. Certificates of assurance are now available at the concession stand and box office. Please pick one up and return it fully signed during this special limited engagement to our box office. By picking up your certificates in advance, you will help us speed up the signing of certificates during the engagement. Remember, absolutely no one can be permitted into the theater without a signed certificate of assurance, also available at the box office during the engagement. Please note that for your protection, a special nurse will be in attendance at the theater, providing free blood pressure tests to anyone at their request. We now present clips from this program, but warn you that certain scenes may be too intense for your viewing. For your protection, we have deleted some of the more sinister and terrifying scenes from these previews.
From the helpless victims already endured to their final peace.
No money, no meat.
Sure, Caleb. You'll get everything that's coming to you.
Don't ever try and cheat me, Landau. The cops might be interested in knowing what you're doing with them bodies.
What kind of mind takes from the grave the bone and flesh remains of the sacred dead?
I feel young. What are you, nuts? That's a corpse. Now get going.
Savage killers when they eat you.
Due to the shocking conclusion of this scene, we must delete its horrifying ending at this time.
Well, the sample wasn't really large enough to be definitive, but yeah, it could be human.
You know, somehow this is tied into it.
Wish I knew what was on the other side of this door.
More spine-tingling thrills, more bone-crushing terror than you've ever seen before. Now,
the continuation of this scene may be too intense and cannot be shown at this time.
There's never been suspense like this, because there's never been anything like the corpse grinders.
Due to the abnormal and blood-curdling climax in this scene, we cannot justify its showing at this time.
But I know the answer is in that pet food factory, and I'm going down there.
You'll witness blood-curdling horror. The corpse grinders.
Angie!
The corpse grinders. The most blood-chilling motion picture you've ever seen.
Did you ever think when the hearse rolls by that someday you are going to die?
Ladies and gentlemen, as producer of this film, I would like to make the following statement. This motion picture is a vicious expose of a part of the young generation, that sick generation who must ravage and plunder for their kicks. Scenes of such brutal honesty will be shown on this screen that we strongly recommend that impressionable young people, or those people of any age, who are upset or affected by scalpel slashing, arm twisting, axe hacking motorcycle maniacs, now close their eyes for the remainder of this coming attraction, and further recommend these people do not attend any showing of this film. Thank you.
What kind of work do you do?
What do you think?
You tell me. Then we'll dunk you slow.
Be quiet, you'll wake the neighbors.
Beauty after beauty becomes victim after victim, added to an ever-growing harem of horror for the Embalmer.
You are even more lovely than you were in the other life.
An underground hell somewhere beneath beautiful ancient Venice, which many come to see and admire. Among them, this group of young travelers, some of whom will remain never to be seen again, except by the Embalmer. The intensity of this scene does not permit us to continue it at this time. Monster of the deep, with a blood-chilling pattern for murder, submerging with his victims into the fathomless canals which interlace the city.
Give me that tray.
One of them hides the grisly secret of a madman. The secret that is finally exposed in a flood of action, terror, and suspense that spell the Embalmer. Unbelievable, blood-curdling, bone-crushing terror. Remember, absolutely no one admitted without a signed certificate of assurance. Special uniformed attendants will supervise all admissions. Certificates are now available at our snack bar and box office. They must be signed by you before we can issue a ticket. And for your protection, a nurse will be in attendance, providing free blood pressure tests to anyone at their request. Be with us for this new dimension in horror. It's like spending a night in the grave, guaranteed to be the shock of your life.